guys, it's Lauren. Welcome to my channel. So I cannot tell you how excited I am for today. I finally have Urban Decay's Backtalk in my hands. I cannot tell you how excited I was for this palette. Out of all the spring releases coming up, this was the one I was just drawn to. I just thought the shades in here were so pretty, and the fact that it's a dual-sided palette and it has blush shades on one side and eyeshadows on the other with even two highlights in here, I just thought it included so much and it was just such a great buy for what you get. I think I bought this for $46 at Sephora and it's available in stores now. It was available on Thursday, which was March 8th. So you can get this in stores or online. It's exclusive to Sephora. It is limited edition, so who knows how long this is going to be out. But yeah, I just thought it was such a great buy and the shades in here just spoke to me. So I wanted to do some swatches for you guys, and then at the end of the video I'll do a try on and I'll show you how I got this look. And I think I was just drawn to this palette because I love all the cool tones in here. I'm always drawn to the browns and the purples, but it has some warmer tones in here, so I feel like it can help me get a little bit out of my comfort zone. So yeah, I just had to have this when I saw this. And this palette was inspired by one of my favorite lipstick shades, the shade Backtalk, one of their Vice lipsticks in their Comfort Matte formula. This is so pretty and unique because it's an actual wearable purple. It has just enough pink in it to make it a wearable shade, so I just love this color. It's just so unique, and the palette has those same rosy tone mauves in it, so I think that's another reason I was drawn to it so much. So it was so fun to play around with this palette, so yeah, let's just get started and we'll get right into the swatches. Alright, so let's get into the packaging first. It's in this really pretty rosy toned mauve packaging. It's cardboard, but yet it's heavy, so it makes it feel like a luxury compact. And then on the one side you have your two blushes, your highlights, and then when you flip it over you have your eyeshadow shades. You have a mix of mattes and shimmers. You have some lighter neutral tone shades, and then you have your darker purples, and then your intense like shimmers and your chocolate browns. I really like this because you can go from a day to a night look. And then in the center here you have this removable mirror. You just put it back in with the help of a magnet here, which at first I thought it was kind of strange and I could do without it, but come to think of it, it's kind of helpful for when I'm showing you swatches, so I'm not blinding you with this mirror. So yeah, I guess I don't mind it so much. So yeah, it's a nice dual-sided compact, and we'll just get right into the swatches. We'll start with the blush shades. So the first shade, Cheap Shot, is kind of a mauve-y tone blush with a slight pink to it. It has a sheen to it. It looks like you almost don't need a highlighter when you swatch this because it has such an intense sheen, but it's not too intense where it's still wearable. It's just a really pretty nice wearable blush with a slight edge to it with that purple sheen to it. So yeah, I really like that. And then the second shade is Double Take. That's more of like a dusty rose with more of a peachy pinky tone to it. The first one is more purple toned, and this one has slightly more of a matte finish, but it does have some shimmer in it. And this is more, I would say it's more of like an everyday blush. It gives a nice pretty flush, just a nice wearable color. And then the third shade is called Low Key. This is one of their highlight shades. This is more of a peachy toned highlight. Since it has a peach tone to it, I feel like it would be really pretty as a blush topper. It's not too intense, so it looks like it'd be really natural, nice enough for every day. So yeah, I really love that highlight. And then the last one is Party Foul. So this shade looks a lot darker in the pan than how it swatches. It's kind of a champagne beigey highlight, really pretty, and it's really intense. It reminds me a lot of Mary Luminizer, which is one of my favorite highlights. I think it would be really pretty for an inner corner eye highlight or underneath your brow bones. So yeah, really love that. So, and then let's flip to the other side, to the eyeshadows. So the first shade we have here is Three Sheets. This is their lightest color. This is kind of like a light eggshell color. It's described on Sephora's website to have a pink tone to it, but I feel like it just looks like your everyday run-of-the-mill neutral shade, but it's actually really intense. It has a lot of pigmentation for such a light shade, and especially you can see on my fair skin with how intense the pigmentation is. So that is a really nice color, just nice and natural. And then the second shade is Bear. So this is more of a beigey tan color. It has a shimmer to it. I think this would be really pretty for every day, just as even just a single shadow all over the lids. It has a really pretty sheen to it and just really nice natural look. And the third shade, Curve, is more of a taupey shimmer. It has almost like a slight purple sheen to it. Another color that I feel like this would be really pretty all over the lid. I think the purple would really bring out any eye color, so I really love that. And then the fourth shade here is Backtalk. So this is probably the one shadow that has the most fallout, but it's still a really nice, pretty smooth shadow. And the color is really nice. It's more of like a dusty mauve pink color. Really pretty as a transition because it has that pink to give it more of an edge, but it's just also a nice natural color. And that is a matte finish. And then we have this, and then we have the shade. This is a fuchsia color, kind of more towards the next shade is more magenta. I would call this more of like a pinky, bright, intense fuchsia. And this is more of like a foil metallic shimmer with little to no fallout. Really nice pigmentation in that. And then my favorite shade in this palette is this next one, Attitude. So this is almost like a bricky red magenta. This is probably your warmest toned in here. This is a really intense foil shadow. The pigmentation in this is insane. I cannot get over this. Definitely my favorite shadow. I don't own anything like this in my collection, so I was really happy to see this shade. It's just such a cool, different, unique shade. I really love that. And then the second to last is this WTF. This is more of like a warm tone brown. It's just a really nice everyday brown color. So I like that it's more on the warmer tone side, so it definitely brings out, again, any eye color. Really pretty. I love that for in the crease. And then the last shade, 180, is your chocolate brown. This is like your most intense shade. This has almost a purple sheen to it in the light, so it gives a slight duochrome finish, and it's just really super intense. The pigmentation on this color is also insane. It's really pretty for the lower lash line or just the outer V of your eye, just to add some like intense color. I also think it'd be really pretty just on the upper lash line, just for like an intense, dark, smoky eye. So I just love all these shades. I just love that they're a mix of mattes and shimmers, and the colors are just right on point. I think my favorite, like I said, has to be that shade Attitude. So yeah, I just love these shades so much. So we'll get right into the try on and I'll show you how I got this look. Alright, so I did all my makeup except my blush, highlight, and shadow and mascara. So let's go ahead and we'll start with an eyeshadow primer. So I love this one from Urban Decay. This is their primer potion. I have the anti-aging formula. I don't even know what anti-aging ingredient is in here, but I mean, hey, it's sitting on your eyes, so why not get some anti-aging treatment as it sits there, I figure. So, but I feel like it's just the same formula as all the other ones, and I like this shade because it's kind of a neutral shade, and it just evens out the tone of your eyelid. So I really like that. And I'm using this brush by Real Techniques. This is a concealer brush. This eyeshadow base is just my favorite because your shadow does not crease. It somehow like really does a great job of holding that shadow on. You never get any oil popping up through the day, and your eyeshadow just like sticks to it. So yeah, I love this stuff. Nothing is better in my opinion. Alright, so I'm going to take out the center mirror so I don't blind you guys. And we'll go in first with the shade 3 Sheets here. It's the lightest shade, kind of like an eggshell color. But I like to go in with a neutral color like this at first because it kind of just evens out your lid, and it just allows for the rest of your shadows to go on super smooth. Alright, yeah, so I like that look. It just evened everything out. And then for a transition shade, I'm going to go in with Backtalk. So again, this is the shade that this palette was inspired by, and I feel like it'd be a good transition color because it's kind of a neutral shade, but it has a slight pinky color to it, so I don't know, it gives a little bit of an edge to the eye. Something different for a transition color. And I'm going in with my Morphe. This is the E22 brush. That first brush I used was the E28 brush. And we're just going to go back and forth in windshield wiper motion, just to get all over the center of the lid, just right in the crease, slightly under the crease and slightly over the crease. Your transition shade certainly doesn't have to be perfect. You can kind of like go crazy with it. Alright, and then for a crease color, I'm going to go in with the shade WTF. That's that muddy brown color. I hate to say muddy brown. I feel like it makes it sound like a puke brown color, but this is actually, I should have called it more of like a reddish tone brown. I just love the warmth to this brown. It's so pretty. So we're just going to go right in that crease to just define it a little better. Alright, and then for the outer corners, I'm going to go in with the shade 180. That's that chocolate brown shade. And I'm going in the same brush. This is the Morphe 330 brush. This is just more of a tapered, pointed brush. It just gives some more control So I'm going to go like right on the edge of the lash line and then just slightly up in a little V on that outer edge, just for some more definition. And same thing on this side, just that outer V. And then I'm going to bring it in towards the center of the lid. So this side looks a little more harsh, so I'm going to go back in and soften that up with, again, with 3 sheets, this first shade. I'm just going to go right above it just to like soften the outer edges. Alright, and then I'm going to go all over the crease with this shade Attitude. This is the one with, I think, the most pigmentation, that true like metallic foil shadow. This one is definitely one of my favorites. It's so pretty, so I think it would look really pretty all over the lid. Tap that off. And then we're just going to pack that on. So I didn't even have to wet my brush, and look at that insane pigmentation. That is so, so pretty. And there was surprisingly like little, no fallout. Usually you get a lot of fallout with shimmer shadows. So yeah, they really did a great job on that shade. It's so, so pretty. So we're going to go in on the other eye. And this brush is the Morphe B15. This is great for packing on shadows. And then we're going to go in with the same brush with the shade Bare, the second shade over here. So I want to kind of give the eye more of a gradient, so it has a gradual fade from the inner corner to the outer corner. And then on the lower lash line, I'm going to mix WTF with the shade Shade. That's that fuchsia color. I think that will be really pretty underneath the eyes just to kind of bring out the green in my eyes. So let's go in with WTF first. And this is just a pointed like angle brush from Eco Tools. And I just want to go from the center of my eye to the outer corner and then just bring it up to create kind of more of a sharper edge at that outer corner. Alright, and then we'll go in with Shade. I really admire when people can just go ham on that lower lash line and just to create that really intense smoky eye. But I don't know why, I feel like on me it always just makes me look like I have raccoon eyes. So I like more of this like sharpened edge for a brush when I do my lower lash line. Okay, and then to highlight that inner corner, my brow bone, I'm going to go in with the highlight shade, the shade Party Foul. And I'm just going to use my fingers to do this. I just find that it's so much easier to pat that color on for the inner corner. And then I always like to go in with the small blending sponge from Eco Tools just to kind of clean up that outer edge. I dampened it slightly, and I just go in the outer corner just to sharpen it a bit. I think everything looks good. I didn't really get much fallout. Usually I'm super scared to do my shadow after my foundation's already done because I find that I have to clean up my foundation when I get a lot of fallout, but I really barely got any with these shadows. So they're super smooth with little to no fallout. Love the pigmentation. I love the look you get from this. So yeah, I really like the shadows. So let's go ahead and dive into the blush shades. So let's first go in with the shade Cheap Shot. That's that mauve tone blush. And I'm going to use a blush brush. And I'm going to use this blush brush from Sonia Kashuk. I love the shape of this. It's just that perfect dome shaped brush, and it just like deposits your blush so perfectly. So yeah, love this blush. Alright, so let's try Cheap Shot out here. We'll just go on the apples of the cheeks. Wow, really pretty. A little bit goes a long way. You can see that slight sheen to it. It almost gives a highlight to the cheek, whereas like, you almost, I don't know, I feel like I almost might not need a highlight with this. But yeah, it looks so pretty. I really, really like that. Alright, and then we'll try the shade Double Talk on the other side. That is that, kind of that dusty rose color. It has more peachy tones in here, more on the pinky side. I feel like this is more of like a natural looking blush. So yeah, that is really pretty too. It also has a slight shimmer, but there's definitely less sheen than the, what's this one called? Cheap Shot. So yeah, this would probably be better for more of an everyday look, but gives such a pretty flush to the cheeks. I love that. It looks really natural. So yeah, I really love both those shades. So let's see how these look mixed up. I'll add more Double Take to this side just to make my cheeks look a little more even. And then we'll go back in with Cheap Shot on this side. The pigmentation in these blushes is really intense, so definitely go in with a light hand. Yeah, these blushes are going to last me forever because of that. The littlest bit goes a long way, so that is awesome. So even mixed together, I feel like they look really pretty. I think Cheap Shot would be better off for like more of a nighttime look because the mauve-y, more icier tone to it, and then Double Take would just be pretty for just every day. So love those. And then let's try out the highlights. Let's go in with Low Key first. I think that would be really pretty as a blush topper. I'm going to use another Sonia Kashuk brush. This is a highlight brush. So Low Key is more of a peachy toned highlight, but I thought it would look kind of funny mixed with that mauve-ier tone blush, but it actually looks really pretty. Look at that sheen. I love that. So pretty. Again, it'd be pretty for every day or as a nighttime look. I feel like you could build it up to be even more intense to get that like mirror-like highlight. So yeah, I really love that so much. Might be my new highlight. But okay, we can't forget about Party Foul. That's that champagne beigey highlight. This is the one that I said looked definitely more darker in the pan that it shows up. This time I'll go in with this fan brush. I think I just scooped this up on Amazon. I love a fan brush. I don't know, it just makes me feel fancy when I apply highlight with a fan brush. They're just so fun. But yeah, so let's go and see how Party Foul looks. And I'll do more of like a higher highlight with this, more above my cheekbone. And this just adds kind of like a more intense highlight. Holy crap, that's so pretty. Yeah, definitely more intense than Low Key, for sure. Let's see how it looks in my Cupid's bow. And then a little underneath my lips. Really pretty, I love that. So definitely if you want a more intense highlight, going with Party Foul. Low Key I feel like would be more of a blush topper. Love both of these shades. A really pretty highlight underneath your brow bone too. Oh, so pretty. I love everything in this palette. So let me just go ahead and finish off the look. I'm just going to add some mascara and some liner, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, so I really love how this turned out. I went in and popped in some eyeliner at my waterline and then my outer corners, and then I just threw in some mascara. I used my Stila Huge Lash Mascara, and then for liner I used my 24/7 eye pencil. And then if you guys are curious about my lipstick, it is, what is the shade called? Oh, Meringue by Bite Beauty. This is their Amuse Bouche formula. Love this formula. It's super creamy. This is like one of my favorite lipsticks. But yeah, I am so obsessed with this look. I love how it gives my eyes like that rose gold look. I felt like every time I would go in with warm toned eyeshadows, it just brought out the red in my eye. But this rose gold just looks so pretty. It really brings out the color in my eyes. So yeah, I love this look so much. Love the highlights, love the blushes. I'm so excited about this palette. So hopefully you guys got lots of insight on this palette. I hope you enjoyed the swatches, the try on. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys.